Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Stars and Stripes Xfinity Series here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. It's race number 9. We're going to be having 133 laps here at Phoenix for the Valley of the Sun 200. Before we get to all the racing action, big thanks to all of our sponsors. And first off, kick it off, ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. Go get yourself a Gamer 2. Gamer 2 is a way to feel the vibrations instead of just hearing them. Gamer 2 is a physical object that you connect to your rig, and when it vibrates, you feel it, as it helps you with feeling this when you're sliding to these corners, feeling the engine rumbling. It's a way to enhance your gaming and also just listening experience. Get yourself a ButtKicker. Use the promo code FreakyFast20. That's Freaky with 2 E's. Get yourself a Gamer 2 from ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. Also, the McConey Setup Shop. McConey Setup Shop, where you can get setups from anything from legends to cup cars, as well as dirt setups for modifieds, late models, wing sprints, and anything else that you can find there at www.mcconeysetupshops.com. Go get yourself a setup today, and if you use the promo code FFB10, again, FFB10, get 10% off on those setups. As well as Freaky Fast Broadcasting is doing a giveaway for McConey Setup Shops. McConey Setup Shop has a coaching feature where you can be coached by some of the best in iRacing, such as that is Zach Novak, a NASCAR Coca-Cola Series champion, or even by Jimmy Mullis, who won this season in the Coca-Cola Series, as well as that of River Hayes and many other drivers at McConey Setup Shop. Go check out the link that will be given in the chat later tonight for that giveaway that Freaky Fast is putting on. But go to McConey Setup Shop. That giveaway going to be a $25 per hour is for, and you'll actually be in the shot for that giveaway, which is 1 hour of coaching from McConey Setup Shop. Again, McConey Setup Shops, our setups, but your victories. That link will be in the chat here shortly. But here tonight for the Stars and Stripes Xfinity Series, it is going to be a wild one. We're here at Phoenix, race number 9 this season. We've had 5 different winners so far. Mike Watts winning at Daytona. Scott Rickard's gotten his 2 wins at Kansas and Richmond, as well as Travis Butt winning at Las Vegas. We saw Nick Holland going on a 3-win streak. And then last week at Dover, Kyle McCoy coming up with the speed, also the strategy to put the 7 on top and getting the win at Dover. Again, the link is going to be in the description for the Freaky Fast giveaway. Thank you so much for everyone that wants to participate in the giveaway. Get yourself 1 hour of free coaching. That's what Freaky Fast is putting down for you when you hit that link. As we are getting prepared for tonight's race, it's 133 laps here at Phoenix. And it certainly is going to be a wild one here. If you've been watching us at Freaky Fast Broadcasting on Sunday for the Sim Racers of Sim Racing Unleashed, we were racing Phoenix with the next-gen cars. Now we're going to be in the Xfinity cars. A little bit, it's kind of an extreme difference that we're going to be seeing for these drivers, but certainly it's going to be a lot of fun here tonight. My name is Sam Dyer. With me is Robert Moyer Jr. Hunter Hayward could not show up here tonight as he had prior obligations, but Robert, it is going to be a fun one. I know you're running double duty productions and commentating, but we're seeing the Xfinity cars here at Phoenix. It should be a fun one at the hot and slick Valley of the Sun 200.
That is correct there, Sam. Thank you for the great introduction in there and getting everything rolling for us here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. And, side note that you just brought up with Sim Racing Unleashed, they were here with the next-gen cars on Sunday night, and they had tire problems, like major tire problems, and something was not right with the setup or whatever it was. Them guys struggled with tires. Well, tonight it's a little bit of difference. Like you said, we are going to be in the Xfinity cars here, and I don't think they should have much of a tire problem what we see Sunday night. Not that tires ain't going to matter, but they're not going to deal with what they dealt with before. So, but anyways, with that being said, welcome everybody here tonight to the Stars and Stripes with Robert A. Moyer and Sam Dyer up here in the booth. Going to be calling all the action here, like he said, for the next 133 laps. So if you enjoy this content, you know what to do out there, and help support the channel, help support the league, and also make sure you go hit up that link on the chat there on YouTube to enter to get free coaching from the Coney setup shops. You know, to try to maybe get a little bit more pointers there, Sam. You know, you don't know what you get. You'd be surprised on they might tell you something and be like, well, dang, I didn't know I was doing that.
Yeah, there are certain ways to attack these courses, how to save tires, how to attack possibly in the draft new package that iRacing's put in for cup racing. That is so important to recognize how to side draft properly, as a lot of these leagues getting prepared for super speedway racing. I know a couple of leagues that I've been broadcasting, they're getting ready for playoff racing, and you want to make sure if you can get just an hour of practice with some of these pros, they can give you tips and tricks that are going to be so essential on how to be getting better on iRacing. Better than just watching the guys racing, why not get the tips while they're watching you race? Again, that's Coney Setup Shops, our setups, your victories, and it is going to be a blast to see who can win that giveaway. But for us here tonight, practice has come to a close. It is time for qualifying. 5 minutes for the drivers to put down their best time in 2 laps. And Robert, here at Phoenix, we touched on the fact that it was extremely hot. That was one of the factors on Sunday. While we saw a lot of tire damage, it is still hot as Phoenix, Arizona. It's in a desert. It is scorching hot here tonight, especially on track. The ambient temperature, not as hot as it actually could have been, as it's only 73 degrees for the ambient temperature that we would be feeling, but for the track temp, 123. I can read. I was about to say 200. That's a lot.
I was going to say
123 degrees is the track temp. It is scorching hot out there. That means the drivers are going to be slipping and sliding. Tire wear is going to be a major issue the longer the run goes on. And also, once you get a lot more heat built in, that rear end is going to be sliding all over the place.
Oh, that's true. I mean, just an aside joke there, man. If it was 200 degrees on the track, it would melt the beads off these tires. They'd make one half lap and be like, bloop, done, into the wall.
That was, just go out there, start cooking.
Right.
I think everyone would just, we're just going to have a cookout instead of a racing event
right.
here on the track. It's that hot.
Get some eggs and bacon, put it on the hood of the car.
Exactly. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, goodness. But, yeah, like you said there, man, yeah, it's going to be hot and slick. And this kind of temperature, and this kind of temperature is really going to bake these cars a lot on tire-wise. But what I'm more worried about, Sam, is that the track's going to get hotter. As these guys go around, you're going to put heat down into the track, and it's just going to get hotter out there for these guys, unfortunately. And they're going to be slipping and sliding around a little bit more. I say by mid-race, I wouldn't be surprised if that temperature goes up. I don't know what time it is in sim time, but it should go up about 1 to 2 degrees. And 1 to 2 degrees don't sound like a lot, but it is when it comes to just racing in general. I mean, heat is a huge thing on how much air the car's getting, how fast the car's going. The cooler the temperature is, the faster the car goes. Blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? So, if the temperature keeps going up and they get long green flag runs, it's going to go up there, man.
Oh, yeah, and looking at the actual in-sim time, I believe it's 1 p.m. that these drivers are racing at, so there is still plenty of time for that heat to rise, ambient temperature as well as for the track. And actually, the track temp did go up 1 degree as we're coming to the final half of qualifying. Currently right now, Scott Rickard, top of the board with Nick Holland. Also a driver we haven't seen on top of the board very often, the 23 of Dylan Grimm. Nice to be seeing the 23 on top of the board, but a lot of familiar faces up in the top 10 currently. It's good to see that of Chris Wade up in the top 10. That's a driver that we've been seeing having a lot of struggles qualifying in these past about 2 to 3 weeks. It's good to be seeing him back in our top 10, top 15 showing for that 53 team.
Yeah. Let's see, fan favorite, see what he can do out there. And right there, prime example, look at Jason, man, coming out of 1, that thing just went sideways on him.
Yeah, and also the driver's going to be having the open dog leg. So when they're coming out of turn number 1, they can drive as low as they want. Usually turn 2 in the old Phoenix, there used to be grass where the drivers try to put themselves down. Now it is all asphalt. The drivers can drive as low as they want. And that means they can get aggressive at seeing how much speed they can get, but that also comes at a risk. If you come off of the racing surface onto the apron, you can find yourself getting a little bit loose, maybe getting out of sorts, but drivers have tested a lot of getting that handling and control as we continue to watch this of the 35. Jason Metcalf, currently 24th. And on iRacing, because of the open dog leg, that does not count as being off the racing surface. They just count as a racing surface. And with that time, Metcalf going to be 12th on the board.
Well, also, this is from a fellow commentator, Zach Hall, that everybody knows. Maybe some people here on Thursday night don't know much about Zach Hall, but he really knows his stuff. And, he would say, yeah, you can go down there. He talked about it on Sunday night. You can go down there, but it's the shortest way around the track. But you're also going to have tire wear. It's also going to chew up the tires down there, Sam. And not only that, you're leaving the track surfaces going down off the track could give you splitter damage. So they got to pay attention to that too.
Yeah, and it is going to be a lot as the drivers are gritting up. Qualifying has come to a close, and it's time to see what our starting grid here for the Valley of the Sun 200 is going to be. It's top of the board, going to be that of Scott Rickard with Nick Holland going to be to his outside. Dylan Grimm going to be getting third with Timmy McNally in fourth. Kyle McCoy, winner of Dover last week, is going to be in fifth position with Travis Butt, Las Vegas winner, going to be to his outside. Kyle Boyling going to be in seventh with that of Nate Lynch to his outside in eighth. Andrew Medlin, as well as that of Chris Wade, going to be your top 10. And Mike Lynch going to be 11th. Jason Metcalf going to be in 12th place. As we look at the rest of the field, some drivers of note, Derek Offerman and also Eric Schwarr, both those drivers going to be 13th and 14th. We're going to have to keep our eyes out. Ken Campbell's been pretty quick overall, but Aaron Hale going to be in 20th place. I think that's a driver that we have to watch out for. The four has been known for not maybe having the best qualifying runs, but finding the speed to be up front later on. And just looking at the rest of the field, looks like we're going to be having about 35 drivers starting out this race. Whoa. A lot of drivers coming out. This is only a mile course, 133 laps. This is one of the shortest races we're probably going to be seeing all season long, but it might be short in the laps, but that doesn't mean it's going to be short of chaos. This track can get very tricky because of all of those breaking points. I mean, Robert, what are some of the factors the drivers are going to have to worry about here tonight?
Well, you said it there, Sam, breaking points. Coming into this race, packing this many cars, I would say the number one key is going to be tire wear. Number two is breaking points. You're going to have drivers that brake later. You're going to have drivers that brake earlier, and things like that. So, and that's not just in one turn. That's going into turn one, and you also brake going into turn three. So you got two turns that you're braking going into, and each driver does it in a different, way. So it's all about knowing who's in front of you, who's behind you, and things like that. So, I mean, this is going to be very interesting. Like you said, 133 laps, packing 35 vehicles here at Phoenix. One of the biggest fields that I've ever seen, calling here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting at Phoenix. So, again, I said it last week. Congratulations to the league, congratulations to the admins, and congratulations to the owner, and just in general, overall, all the drivers for making this a pretty stout field. So if you're looking to get into racing or free on a Thursday night, come out and join these guys here at Stars and Stripes. They'd be more than welcome to have you. As we're going to get ready to go green, one more lap here, sir. Oh, wait, no, we're going green now.
We're going to green. It's going to be green right now. Scott Rickard, Nick Holland going to be taking us to corner number one as we watch for Dylan Grimm going to be on the inside. DoorDash trying to make his moves for the 23. Side-by-side for second place. It's Scott Rickard already 4 car lengths ahead of the drivers behind him, but Travis Button, he's going to go even further down on the dog leg. Drivers trying to find their speed. As up front, they're pretty cleaned up, but it's going to be side-by-side from about 8th position on back. Drivers scattering to try to find positions to get in line so they're not stuck side-by-side for too long.
Oh, very well start right now here as you watch in the back here. We got Christopher in that 53 Dr. Pepper machine trying to work his way. He's staying up on the track surface right now, trying to stay out of everybody's way. which is, I believe, I never liked going down to the dog leg. I just got scared going down there, Sam. So I always stayed up on the track surface, but we can see I'm still battling back here for 9th, 10th, and 11th position right now.
Yeah, the dog leg is one of those factors in the racetrack where you're taking that risk of a little bit more tire wear, also cutting down on the track surface, so you're saving time. But you also, if you stay on the racing surface, you feel a lot more safer. There's not a risk of, if you hit the wrong bobble, transferring from the apron back onto the racing surface, of you getting loose or spinning around, as we're seeing that of Chris Wade, Kyle Boyling side by side, also Andrew Medlin and Jason Metcalf side by side for themselves. All four of these drivers shown to have speed at one point. For that of Andrew, caution already in the back. It's going to be that of Brian Chu bringing out the caution, coming out to turn number 3 for the 11. And it looks like he did this all on his own. So this driver's out of turn number 3, and as well out of turn number 1 can be very tricky, as we're going to see the 11 here. And the Rowdy Energy 11 just coming at turn number 3, getting himself just a little bit too loose, trying to hold on, wasn't able to.
Too much throttle, I do believe, right there, Sam. And man, that thing just kicked out on him, and bam, head into the inside wall. And I think if anything, and who else got clipped there? Who was? Oh, the 67.
That's going to be that of Travis Vallis, going to be getting that contact for the 67. And Vallis probably got the worst of it, losing that front bumper. And you know, Phoenix short track, you can get some damage on yourself, but you don't want to get any engine damage or any type of toe damage where your steering wheel isn't straight. But I think for the 67 might be a cause for him to come into pit road, might use a fast repair. All the drivers have one fast repair if needed during this race. If they come in, completely resets their car like they had a brand new vehicle, and all the drivers have that. It's now into pit road, going to be that of Brian Chu and Travis Dart into pit road. Val is just going to be staying out. I don't think that the 67 realizes how much damage he has on that front bumper.
Yeah, that, or he's just going to pace around one more lap there, Sam, and then go in, which will give you an extra lap on fuel. I mean, why not? I mean, you know you got to make a pit stop. It's under yellow. The car's not going to blow up. So if you get one extra lap, well, one extra lap's one extra lap, you know. Not that he has the speed right now to be up here battling for the win, but, you know, maybe a top 15 car right now. But before this yellow came out, I wanted to touch base with Andrew in that 12. He's been very stout all season, Sam, and just can't close the door. Well, will we see him close the door tonight? Do you think he's got a shot here? As right now, running here in 10th position, qualified 9th, down one position of his starting rate. Do you think he has something here for Phoenix, man?
Yeah, I mean, Andrew Medland, I mean, this is kind of what we saw at the beginning of the season, where the 12 would qualify a little bit in the middle of the field, move his way up slowly throughout the race, and then in the final about 25 laps, he would charge for a win. But I don't know if tonight's that race. I think for Andrew Medland, he's going to need a little bit of a pitch strategy to help out the 12 shot of winning this thing. I think a lot of these drivers, their goal is to have a pitch strategy move that's going to help them with the shot to have the freshest tires by the end of this race to really attack the rest of the field. And you touched on that of Vallis maybe staying out for an extra lap. Well, he's deciding to just stay out. Coming in is actually Bill Dart, who going to be getting himself topped off with fuel and get back out there. Also, Brian Chu going to be coming back in, trying to get as much repairs done before going a lap down, as pace car light's still on, but we're expecting him to go off this time by, which will give us the indicator that there is one to go for this field. Pace car lights are off. They're stacking up, but yeah, I mean, for that of Andrew Medlin, I think tonight's going to be a hard night for him to cut through this field. Going to need a lot of mistakes from the drivers in front of him if he wants a shot. I mean, looking at some of our previous winners of here at Phoenix for season 1, each season they changed cars that what they were running, but for season 1, they were running the ARCA cars. Kyle McCoy won that race. Then season 2, they found themselves running the trucks, where Scott Rickard was able to get himself a win during that season, and we are currently in season 3, so and we're running the ARCA cars. This driver's really unknown. A lot of people thought Scott Rickard was going to be the most dominant car, and he's shown the pace. But the finishes have not been there every single time he's been the fastest car. So we'll wait and see if the 05 has got the pace to get the win here tonight. Or will it be someone else? Pace car rolls off. Field stacks up. And green flag back in the air. It's going to be Scott Rickard getting a great launch like he did the first time. It's going to be Nick Hall and Travis Butt going to be side by side as they go into turn number 1. It's going to be the 00 making a power move and holding strong as they coming out turn number 1 going into the dogleg.
We watch Travis there in that 00 machine go down into turn number 3 and 4 here. He's kind of cleared Nick here coming out, and now he's going to set himself. Never mind.
Quick yellow. And it's going to be drivers further back. Haas Beverly as well as Adam Allen going to be making contact with themselves. And, oh boy, Allen and Beverly. They're going to be the catalysts of this wreck. And there is we're going to be seeing the exact reason why the dogleg is so dangerous at times with this replay. We're going to be seeing Allen and Paz Beverly. That's going to be Allen on the outside. Beverly just went onto the dogleg. He's going to come back up onto the track. And you got to be aware of your surroundings when you go down into the dogleg, because when you come up, there's a driver that might be staying there. Hard contact again, right into the inside wall. And that brings out our second caution of the day. And Robert, that's kind of the perfect window of why the dogleg is so dangerous at times. And if you're not aware of your surroundings, you could be bringing out a caution.
Well, exactly. I mean, we know what you said there. Good point there, Sam. That's why I've never liked running the dogleg. I feel sometimes your spotter gets confused, not knowing that there's a car up there, and you come up, and all of a sudden the spotter will, at the last minute, say, car high. Well, it's too late already. You're already sliding up, getting ready to enter turn 3, because you don't want to enter turn 3 on low. You want to try to diamond that corner by going in high, getting down to the line, and then exiting out. Now, I don't know if there's grip down there. I do know some drivers try to go down there in turn 3 and 4, but that's the main thing what you see with the dogleg. It's very tricky. I mean, it's there, but you really got to know your surroundings, like you said there, Sam.
Yeah, a little bit of you might want to check your mirrors, or there's a button that you can try to put into your wheel or onto your controller that can actually allow you to look side to side in your cockpit. So drivers could have tried to look, but you could tell there just either communication error from the spotter or just didn't look. As we hope that they will be cleaned up, but I think we know, Robert, that the longer this race goes on, the more anticipation, more tension's going to build up. The driver's going to get a lot more aggressive. We're expecting at some point drivers going to be getting a little bit more pushy onto one another, and there's not going to be a lot of give around this course.
You took the words out of my mouth, Sam. Here at Stars and Stripes, they trend, and we'll see if the trend continues. But from my notes that I get, and I pay attention to this, so even if I'm not calling a race, but in the background running everything for everybody, the trend is about 15 laps to go. That just seems like to be the number for a lot of leagues that we broadcast when things get very, very crazy. And we're on lap 12 of 133, and trust me, the excitement is not even close to being over yet.
Absolutely not. I also want to give note of the fact that the drivers only have 4 sets of tires to work with. The one they started out with, which most of the field still has, and 3 in pit road. Oz Beverly just used his first set here in the first 11 laps of this race. Might be a little bit too soon for my liking, but the field is stacked up. We're getting ready to go green.
We'll get ready to go green as they're going down the backstretch here through the dogleg. They're going to get side by side here and get ready for some action-packed racing here with Stars and Stripes at ISM, or known as Phoenix, which whatever you like to call it. Doesn't matter. It's up to you. We just know where we're at. We're out west here, close to Sam's place, and I'm sure maybe if I throw a rock, well, maybe, you're still too far away.
Yeah, California's a little bit too big to throw a rock from Arizona there.
I have
green
no
flag
clue.
in the air. Green flag in the air. And for the Valley of the Sun 200, Scott Rickard's going to be in the lead. Travis following behind with that in Nick Holland. Also Grim, Wade, your top 5. Kyle McCoy and Wade side by side. Kyle McCoy won during season 1 in the ARCAs, but there has been a lot of changes to iRacing since season 1 to current iRacing build. Also, complete different car. I mean, this is so different watching on how these drivers have to attack compared to the ARCA car to the Xfinity car. But the one thing that's kind of balanced and equal is that throttle control. I mean, Robert, what is one thing that these drivers can focus on throttle control-wise when you're around this course?
Man, why do you ask me such hard questions?
I don't know. I know that it's like a question that you probably don't have the answer to, and I just throw it at you.
Yeah, that one, again, you got me last week, man. Now you got me again this week. Will you stop doing that to me? You're making me sound like I don't know what I'm talking about.
You know, that happened to me so often when I first started broadcasting. People asking me questions I had no idea about. And I just had to honestly just throw out random things, hope for the best. And most of the time I said the opposite what was right.
I really don't have an answer for the question that you asked me. I mean, throttle control, it's just throttle control. Don't overdo it. You know, you got to wait for your braking points, and don't drive this thing in too deep, and just be smooth. I mean, that's about basically what you can do out here at Phoenix, especially with the track temperature being, 120 plus degrees now?
Yeah, it's climbed up to now 125 degrees from when qualifying was.
And that's what I mean. I said 2 degrees, right? So that's what we're looking at. And the longer these guys run, the harder the track's going to get. So, I mean, a couple laps ago when you're asking that question, we watched Christopher go into 1, and he shot that turn, and it just pushed him straight up the track. And the problem with that is that you're putting so much wheel into it then, Sam, to stay off the wall, and you're out of the throttle. The car's still pushing. You're just burning up that right front tire so bad, and that's the last thing you want to do.
Drivers willing to try to not burn up those tires, trying to conserve as much as they can, but sometimes the weather and just the race surface itself can be the cause of a lot of wear and tear. Currently watching some of the drivers with some of the biggest moves. Second place, then Travis Butt going to be up 4 positions from where he started back in 6th position, up on the back bumper of Scott Rickard, and then you fall back to the drivers battling for 6th. We've been watching that of Chris Wade as well as watching Nate Lynch. For Wade, he's moved up 3 positions, started in 10th place up to 7th, but some of the bigger movers is outside of the top 10. Started in 19th, now battling to try to get into 11th. That's where we find Mike Watts. Watts started back in 19th position. He's now up to 12th, and he's got some heavy hitters behind him. That's going to be Eric Schwarr as well as Timmy McNally side by side, but you're just seeing the difference of drivers. When you take that, when you're side by side, you take the dog leg, you have to extremely slow down because you have too shallow of an entry where you're too low on the racing surface to carry too much momentum. Got to slow down more, which gave that Watts the better entry into the corner and continues to try to move up for himself. Mike Watts, our Daytona winner, but one of the drivers that's kind of been running under the radar after he won. He's kind of just been lingering in the top 10 of points, not trying anything much. He's 8th in points. He's had that 1 win, 1 top 5, which was that win. But he's finished in the top 10 2 other times, a total of 3 top 10s this season for Mike Watts. He's hoping to get another top 10 to continue on this momentum that he's had so far.
Yeah, well, what you said there with Mike Watts, I mean, our Daytona winner. Then he missed the following week to prior obligations that he had to take care of. And he's come back to these 1.5-mile short track racing and really hasn't shown the fast speed. He shows good speed. He has shown that he can run in the top 10, like you said. But I think this team is still looking for a little bit more, Sam. He needs to find a little bit more speed in that 84.
Yeah, and you're really watching some of the other drivers that are making some great charges forward. Back in 24th place, don't see this 9 doing as well as he is right now. That's Patrick Hazy, the 9 machine in 24th place, the highest of the drivers that did not qualify. and did not put a time during practice or qualifying. Really was an unknown. Qualified back in 34th position, one of the last cars to start this race, and currently up to 24th, up 10 positions. Great charge for this 9 team.
I got Brian Chu back here in the 11th position. You got Adams, Josh, and Travis up here battling for 27th, 28th, 29th position. I mean, there's battling all the way around this track here. And you pack these many cars, this is just awesome to see. It really is. I mean, we can talk about the front pack. We can talk about the back pack. We got so much to talk about. It is awesome to see this kind of stuff here. But you know what really catches my eye right now with 25 laps in the books here, Sam, is Ken in this 15. He's back here in 19th position right now.
Yeah, Ken Campbell coming in, qualified in 18th place, running in 19th. And for Ken Campbell, he has been running very well these last couple of weeks. Kind of shocked us with the top 10s, top 5s during the race and having that race pace. And comes in 12th into our point standings before this race started, and came in with 3 top 5s, 4 top 10s. Was expecting a good run for this 15 team, but I'm confused on where this pace went. But to be fair, I mean, Phoenix is a very difficult course that some drivers either love or they hate. There's really no middle ground with this course.
Very true. So this might be a track that's just not under his, wheelhouse, if that's what you want to call it. Because it's awkward to see him back here. The past 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we've seen him up in the top 5, top 10, not way back here. So we'll have to see if he can figure it out, or maybe he's just looking to run his race, don't get involved in anything, come out with the maximum points that you can, and call it a night. So we'll have to see where this 15 lands at the end of the race here, as we're going to go back up here to Andrew. Back up here, it looks like he's up here at 6th position, up 3 positions right now. He's about 3/10 behind Dylan right now. They're in that 23 DoorDash machine. He has not really made too much of the moves after going in lap 30 here there, Sam.
No, we're starting to see 2 drivers that are up in the top 10, kind of moving in sequence. We've been watching Kyle McCoy, who was just moved up to 2nd place, and also that of Andrew Medlin's moving up a position as well. There's now 3 cars in between, but Kyle McCoy, looking at the times of the drivers on what's being put down, currently the fastest driver on track is Scott Rickard, but another driver that's looking quick is Andrew Medlin. And then looking at the other drivers that are pretty fast, Kyle McCoy, he's going to be the 4th fastest of the drivers in the top 10. Looking at that of Dylan Grimm as well as Andrew Medlin, 5th and 6th position. Both those drivers have a lot of pace, but there is also a good collection of drivers in front of them that they got to figure out how to get by. And each driver that you get by, you got to drive a little bit more aggressive. That means you're using more tire wear, which could be costing you time later in the run.
Well, that's it. I mean, look at Travis Butt right there. He literally went into that turn, and that car got unhappy on him. And so it looks like he's starting to maybe overdrive the car a little bit more than what it wants. We'll have to see how that all plays out here. But speaking of Kyle, I mean, Kyle won last week. So he finally got that victory in his books and got out of the way, as he is 2.31 seconds behind records there, Scott, in that 0.5. Now, this 0.5 was very fast week in and week out, Sam, but it hasn't all played out for him, as he either got involved into overdriving the car, got into the wall, things like that. So let's hope he can keep that thing clean, because right now he's setting pace, and he's got a very fast car out there tonight.
Yeah, slowly trying to catch up to that of Scott Rickard. And looking at this field, we were looking at this race possibly turn into a 2-stop race. So around, lap 45, 50 is the window we're looking for a first pit stop, to then around 90 to 95, probably the final pit stop we're going to be seeing these drivers take. So the window is slowly coming up for these drivers, about 10 laps away from when we're expecting our first pit stop, 10 to 15 laps. So everyone's just trying to get in line, get a sense on this first stint. How do you want to attack and be aggressive here so you understand, hey, if my tires are worn too much in this first stint, I know how to change and adapt later on in this race for your next stint and the one after that.
Yeah, I mean, when I used to race and things like that, but like you just good pointers there, Sam. You know, when you do your first stint, you know, okay, by lap 15, my car starts pushing. I got to get out of the gas 3 miles per hour, slow the car down 3-4 miles per hour for each turn. The next 5 laps are good, and then I got to do this. The next 10 laps are good, I got to do this. So when they come out in their second stint, like you said here, they already know what the car wants and is going to give you. So, you know, they can adjust and maybe you're going to see some guys figure that part out and become faster, or some are still going to keep doing the same thing and wind up just burning their tires off here. But we are watching Derek here in that Home Depot machine right now, back here running in 12th position, Sam. And he lost the streak of his top 10s, and now he's restarted his streak of top 10s, and right now he's out 2 positions of a top 10. So we'll see if he can keep that streak going, finishing in the top 10.
Yeah, this 20 machine of Derek Offerman, he has been Mr. Consistent. Might not be the fastest driver out there, but consistency has put Derek Offerman into that 4th position in points. Is a yellow in the back going to be coming out. That's going to be Jason Rickett. That's going to be bringing out this one for the one, finding himself out of control and completely lost his front bumper on the entry of turn 1. Another solo spin, and this looks like just a misjudge for the one on how he was going to enter the first corner. This is kind of a very fluky incident, Robert. You don't see this very often while racing. This is kind of the worst nightmare when you feel like you're getting into a rhythm and then you miscalculate where your entry point is into the corner.
Oh, and I think what he did too is maybe he adjusted his brake bias there, Sam, and because that front end locked down on him really, really fast. So he might have been doing a little bit of brake bias adjustments and didn't realize when he went into that turn what the brakes are going to do, because it grabbed them front tires and then just slid him down into the wall, and then he hit the outside wall. And like you said, that's very, very weird that you just misjudge. I don't think you misjudge it. I think it has to do with brake bias, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, looking at some of his previous entries, he was entering a lot higher into the corners, and that one probably was feeling that sensation of, hey, I'm losing the grip. I need a little bit more help. So he put more brake bias in, and it backfired. And luckily for the one of Jason Ricketts, he does have a fast repair, so he's not fully out of this race, but it is certainly, this is going to be putting a question mark on these drivers as the whole entire field going to be coming to pit road. Most likely we're going to see everyone taking fuel, tires, but you can lose and gain time under pit road if you make a mistake, as we're waiting to see who's going to be coming out first out of the pit exit. But Robert, looks like Scott Rickart's going to be getting it done. But now it's time to reset for these drivers. Had a decently long green flag run. But usually when we see a decently green flag run, that means drivers now they got into their own rhythms, and now you've got to reset for other people. This is going to be a difficult restart for these drivers.
Yes, it's going to be. And we see Andrew, he moved himself up to the top 5. Got to give a big shout out there to Nate Lynch there in that 25. He's up to 6th position. He's looking pretty strong. We don't talk too much about him, right? As the past couple weeks here, we haven't talked too much about, Nate, but he's having a great run, up 2 positions. Got to give him a shout out there in that McDonald's Camaro.
Yeah, I mean, Lynch, one of those drivers that, once again, just under the radar. Almost all the niche, the Lynch drivers, they have been all having themselves very unlucky season, you could say. They get caught up in messes all the time, it seems like. But for that of Nate, he's the one who's been the best of all of the Lynch drivers, currently 17th in points. Only has 1 top 10 this season, but certainly would like to get more. And what a way to qualify. Qualified out front in 8th position, and has been moving forward A driver that we can say, though, that is on the opposite side that qualified well, but now is on the back foot, that's got to be Timmy McNally. This 88 car is struggling back in 19th position. Timmy McNally, one of those drivers we expect to be up front in our top 10 each and every week. But it just seems like McNally had the pace for the first 3 to 4 laps and then just wore down those tires too much. I'm hoping he's figured out a different strategy on how to attack, but also Travis Butt, he's further back here, had to do some damage repair for the 00. That's what's lost a lot of time for Travis Butt, the driver that was challenging to be up front. The driver's now going to be Scott Rickard out of Kyle McCoy, Nick Holland, Dylan Grimm, Andrew Medlin, Nate Lynch, Kyle Boyling, Chris Wade, as well as Eric Schwar, and Jason Metcalf going to be your top 10. The drivers are getting reset, ready to go. 41 laps in. The start of lap 42. Pace car pulls off the Valley of the Sun. 200 is green once again.
Flag going down into turn 1 here, ladies and gentlemen. Side by side, this is where it gets tricky. We see it. Sam noted on it earlier under the yellow. These guys got to figure out how to get and where they want to go before they start getting a little racy. As we watch Andrew come down and go down in that dog leg a little bit, not too far down, which is a pretty good line that he ran there. And you can see him going into turn 3 and 4. And if you just listen really closely, he's on the gas, off the gas, on the gas, off the gas. As though we had the 23 blink out there, Sam.
He blinked, got close to the outside wall, had to back up, but behind that of Medlin, it is chaos. 3 wide racing at moments. 2, 3 wide drivers trying to pick and choose. And all just a fanning out of drivers trying to figure out where they want to place themselves on the dog leg. Dangerous racing. Nate Lynch, Kyle Boyling side by side, as well as that of Wade and Metcalf. Going to be doing their best as we're on board riding with Metcalf. You can just see it's just claustrophobic on how close these drivers get on the exit of the corners and also on the entries of how close you want to be. As the 35 keeping it close with Boiling, and now right back to the back bumper of the 53 of that of Wade.
Now, do we call that side draft, or was he trying to give him some coffee?
Oh, he was trying to give him a little bit of a tap, say I'm there. And also just trying to show, hey, I'm going to pinch you down low, not give you any space to come up. But, a little bit of contact. Wade and Metcalf make contact. Wade gets the worst of it, falling back, losing 4 positions. And Boiling going to be taking the capture of that moment. And, oh, boy. More contact can be made. Wade as well as that of Metcalf. Metcalf up into the outside wall. A little bit of karma, maybe. I don't know. Still 3 wide as it coming out of turn number 3. And it's going to be Schwar. It's going to be Metcalf falling back. And Metcalf trying to get aggressive to not lose any more positions. But you know, this is around the time. Drivers got to be aggressive. Try to gain as many positions as possible. Because once you get into a long stretch, green flag racing, those tires are too worn. It gets a little bit too difficult to make any types of passes. Big kudos to that of Travis Butt. Started back in 18th. He's now up to 12th after watching all of the melees that are going on around him.
And he's still working his way up through. And we know he's got a fast car. He's a fast cat here tonight. We'll have to see if he can, work this traffic. He just got to be patient. He's got the car. He's got the speed. You just don't want to burn up these tires because, like you said, Sam, you got to utilize these tires in the first 5 to 15 laps because after that, basically everything just plateaus. And, oh, man, Jason's sideways coming out. And you can see he's just overdriving that car right now, Sam. I mean, he's trying to get everything that he can out of that 35, but, he's trying to get more than what the car's willing to give you.
Yeah, 35, 53, both side by side, trying to make pass for 12th place, but we kind of saw Wade. He got tight, moved up into the wall, and then same thing happened. Kind of a similar issue happened to that of Metcalf. Got loose, losing ground, so it keeps them side by side for another lap, which now is keeping the fort of Aaron Hale just waiting to pounce and make a position and make a pass. And finally, going to be following that of Metcalf, who makes the inside line work, and they continue to move forward. But that was a very scary situation that kind of isn't over just yet. with Wade staying on the outside, keeping these drivers side by side. One slip up could cause one of these drivers going around.
Yeah, I think Wade's trying to get down into that racing groove line, but no one's letting him do it right now there, Sam. He's just getting freight trained one by one, as you can see right now. Trey trying to work it, Cole's trying to work it, and he's still stuck on the high side. Here comes Ken. He's trying to work his way into the picture.
Will Grimes making the pass. Also now Trey Jackson going to be following behind the 53. We've already seen that the 53 of Chris Wade being bullied around a couple of times, hoping that it doesn't continue for himself, as finally into the racing groove, and everyone else trying to stay single file the best of their abilities. But I mean, we're about 12 laps into this run. That's usually when we start to see drivers getting into those methodical, safe, getting your rhythm positions. Everyone's staying pretty neat and tidy for now. Drivers that are pretty close to one another, though. Battle that's going on for 4th place. As Grimm, also Methlin, side by side. As Grimm going to be utilizing the dog leg to try to get side by side with the 12 as they enter turn number 3.
As he looks to go here in the DoorDash, going to try to run it down in 3 and 4. Try to get that run coming off of 4, but I think Andrew's going to have the momentum. Oh, maybe not. I thought he had the momentum there, but it's still looking like Grimm's in that. Oh, I don't know where he went. Okay, there he is.
When the car blinks for that long, you just don't know. Will they be phased inside of you or not? Luckily, there was plenty of space. And drivers, I mean, when you're racing with someone or you've raced on iRacing for quite a long time, you recognize, hey, someone's blinked away, got to make sure that they've got space. But it also kind of messes with you mentally. You're not sure if you should be racing aggressive or backing off, give them space. It can slow you down when you've got a driver blinking around you because you just don't know how to attack the course when they're that close to one another.
Yeah,
they
very
continue
true.
to battle on. We'll actually drop back to 16th, actually to 18th place. Ken Campbell, the driver we were talking about, he's got Mark Beverly, also Timmy McNally racing with one another. Is Mark Beverly going to be giving a little bit of a tap to that of Ken Campbell? And Mark Beverly, I've been watching him. He's been kind of pushing into these corners and looking slightly aggressive. Automatically says sorry, but you can just sense that aggression for the 51. He wants to be moving quicker into the top 15. He's feeling a little bit trapped right now for that of the 51.
Well, we noted on it earlier, ladies and gentlemen, you know, braking points. Each driver has different braking points, when to get on the brakes, when to get off the brakes, when to get back on the gas. And when you start not running around other cars and you move up through the field, it takes a lap or two to say, okay, this is where the guy gets off. This is where he's braking. Okay, this is when he's getting back on the gas. And if you don't pay attention to that stuff, you're going to run into somebody. And that's just racing in general. I mean, you know what I mean there, Sam?
Oh, absolutely. And we're starting to see it right now with the drivers being so aggressive with one another. And, you know, a car that's right behind that group, that's where we find that of the 84. That's where I cannot believe it. I mean, the 83, excuse me. That's when we find Adam Allen. And Allen has done a great job recovering. He was part of that first wreck where himself and also Brian Chu made contact. And for that of Allen, had to use a fast repair, but has now moved up into 20th position, looking for that top 15 place spot, as Allen at one point actually was leading the points lead, I believe around week 3 of this season, then got caught up in a lot of messes around Las Vegas that he just had terrible luck of being caught up in wrecks early in the first 15 laps, which have continued on even here at Phoenix. But for Allen, what a recovery for himself, up to 20th place.
Keep pushing forward, never give up. As we get longer into the season and they pack these many cars, you know, we talk about point standings and all that stuff there, Sam. Each position matters. I mean, when you're packing these many cars and you're racing for a championship, you know, one position can really win your season or lose your season. I mean, it really can when you got this many cars.
Well, absolutely. And with this big of a field, it also allows, if one of our top competitors, if they have an off week, they can find themselves dropping dramatically through the field. I mean, for Kyle McCoy, he moved up 11 positions from last week's win, where he was points wise, and he's now second in points after that win as Kyle McCoy runs second currently even in this race. And so just showing if you have a massive win type of a day or a fall off, you could be losing or gaining massively, especially early in the season. I mean, we're kind of at the halfway point, a little bit past halfway, with this being the 9th race of the season. We've got a lot of races still right around the corner for this field of drivers, but it's got to be exciting for a lot of these guys, knowing that there is excitement building up. Playoffs right around the corner. Only 12 drivers will be battling during the playoffs, but hey, if you're going to be making that charge now, hey, you got to be making sure that you run consistent from this point until that cutoff race.
Yeah, very well said. I mean, we are 9 races into it, and it's going to come down to the point now. You got to show up week in and week out, and just depending on where you're at in the points. I mean, there's going to come down to it where you're going to have your 12 drivers. You're going to have some drivers that are already locked in, and they made the races and qualified to get into the playoffs with that win and the starts that this league requires for the playoffs. So they don't really have to worry about nothing. But you're going to have guys, Sam, that are in 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, maybe even back to the top, 20, needing either a win or a great points night when we come to that last race of the playoffs. So every position starting now, like you said, these guys got to start looking towards the future now and start paying attention to this, the point battling and everything else, what's going on there.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the points currently right now, I would say around 19th might be that window for a lot of drivers that if you're in the top 19, you've got a shot to be into the playoffs. Otherwise, you're going to be having to get a win to get yourself into the playoffs. As the next couple of races that are coming up for the field, we're going to be going to Indianapolis next week, 80 laps at the Brickyard. Then we're going to Nashville Superspeedway for a couple of hundred laps there. Then we go to Rockingham, Watkins Glen, New Hampshire, and finishing out the regular season at Talladega. A lot of pressure's on for these drivers, and then they've got a break at the All-Star break, and then it's the round of 12 with Atlanta starting off the playoffs. So it's a lot of pressure on the guys to make sure that you run consistent for most of this race. But that playoffs, it's a very small playoff window because it's only a two race, then the championship race for these drivers. So a lot of pressure once you even get to the playoffs on running consistent. Because if you have a slip up once you're in the playoffs, it's all over. And especially with how large of a field we have, one little slip up for one race, it might put you in a must-win scenario.
Oh, big time. Now, I got a question to ask you, Sam. With these upcoming tracks, before we get into the playoffs, out of those tracks that are coming up, what do you think is going to be the breaker track that will set basically the stage for the playoffs? What track do you think is huge for these guys?
I mean, I think for a lot of them has to be Watkins Glen. I mean, that is a technical track. Third race, until the final of the regular season. But that race, if you have a fall off at Watkins Glen, you're going to New Hampshire where short track racing, a lot of short tracks to finish out the regular season for these drivers. And then you've got Watkins Glen in Talladega, 2 of the final 3 races. Big racetracks that can lose or gain a lot of positions. Let's continue to watch the drivers racing around. But I think those are probably the 2 tracks that I got my eye on. Is yellow flag waves, caution on the racing surface. As we look to see, it's going to be Mike Lynch involved in this one, I believe. And the 2 front stretch, it's been a similar spot. We've been seeing a lot of wrecks so far this season. I believe a little bit of contact between himself and the 83 of Adam Allen.
We'll watch the replay here, and I will give you my take on what these tracks that are coming up. But we'll see here as they get side by side. And we know what that was, but we won't say it. And unfortunately, around that Miller Lite machine goes spinny topping around. So unfortunately, he brings out that yellow there, Sam.
Yeah, and we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, as we're coming closer, actually, we're at halfway. When we come back, more racing action here at Phoenix.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. There's a reason that Makoni Setup Shop is trusted by more virtual and real-world tracks and companies than any other setup shop in iRacing. With partners such as Stafford Motor Speedway, the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, Five Flag Speedway, Speed 51, and more. When you want something done right, you go to the experts at Makoni Setup Shop.
With setups available for most series on both asphalt and dirt, built by a team of professional builders consisting of some of the top talents on the service, Makoni Setup Shop LLC has what you need to hit the track with confidence. Head over to MakoniSetupShop.com and learn why Makoni Setup Shop is the official setup shop of Richmond Raceway Esports and is partnered with some of the largest names in virtual and real racing.
And remember, at Makoni Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, the Stars and Stripes Xfinity Series here at Phoenix for the Valley of the Sun 200. My name is Sam Dyer. With me is Robert Moyer as we're here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. We've had a couple of cautions rile these drivers up, but we're past halfway. We'll see if it calms them down at all. But we've been watching the drivers being aggressive, racing as hard as they can. And it's been the battling that's going on around 10th place that has been keeping our eye here under this commercial break. Robert, it has been the drivers have been quite aggressive here, but somehow holding on, and we're starting to see some drivers we saw fall back, such as Timmy McNally, moving themselves forward.
Yeah, like you said, we were under that commercial caution, doing that commercial with the caution there, and they went back green. But yeah, we were keeping an eyes on back here, and we can see it with Timmy and that 44 of Kyle. These guys have been back here battling hard for position as the front pack basically just got single file right now, and it's actually looking like Nick there in F68 is actually keeping up this time. And we seen this before, Sam, with this 68. He hangs back, he rides, he doesn't push the issue, he keeps his car clean until the end of the race, and about 3/4 into the race, all of a sudden this guy starts picking up speed, figures something out. His crew chief or the team on that 68, just, I don't know what they're doing, but if I was Scott, I'd be like, okay, you did this 2 weeks in a row now. What are you doing that I'm not?
Yeah, I mean, that's how he won his 3 races in a row, that of Charlotte, Martinsville, as well as Pocono, and then he had that little bit of a slip up last week with having contact with the lap driver that took Nick Holland out of contention to win and cut his streak away from going for 4. But Nick Holland, like you stated, that final 3/4 of the race, that's when he shows up and is up front, showing the speed. But also, it's usually late in the run. You touched on it earlier in the broadcast, that late caution. When a late caution comes out, it's Nick Holland that somehow puts himself in the lead. So all he needs to do is just hold off the rest of the field. We'll see if he can do that here tonight. But currently in second place. And yeah, everyone's kind of spreading out from one another. The battle for third. We're seeing the drivers that have been challenging one another continue to do so, as Grimm and Medlin, they continue to battle on. But, you know, Nate Lynch, Travis Butt's done a great job. At one moment, he had to fall back to 18th place because he had to do repairs on our second caution of the day. Fell back, and it's been a recovery day ever since. The 00 now up to 6th position and challenging for 5th place. I mean, this has got to be feeling good for a driver trying to come back after a little bit of a falter that he had earlier in the race.
Yeah, and I said earlier too, noted that, you know, he has the speed. He was up here running in second, third position all race until he had to go back and get that damage fixed and do what he needed to do to get that car a little bit cleaned up. And now you can see here, he's got the speed, Sam. He just has got to be patient. You got plenty of time, and you got to make one more pit stop here, ladies and gentlemen. So, I mean, just ride what you're doing right now and just keep it clean. Don't put it in the wall. Don't overdrive the car. And I think he's going to be at least a top 3 contender here after tonight's race.
Yeah, Kyle Boylan's been doing Travis Boylan, been doing a great job for himself. That Travis Butt. Kyle Boylan, back in 11th, been doing a great job as well for himself in 11th position. He qualified in 7th as well, falling back, similar to that of Timmy McNally. Both drivers kind of found a spot to stable out. And it's one of those things where we've seen this with drivers there, Robert, where you see drivers that have been aggressive, fall back, try to make recoveries. But we're now going to have to watch that from Kyle McCoy, who was challenging for the lead at one moment, but we see on the screen back here in 22nd position. Very similar to what happened to Travis Butt. Had to make repairs under this last pit stop, and now has fallen back from what was a challenge for second place back to around 26th position. And this 7 has been on a recovery mode, but this just seems a little bit out of reach. Needs a couple of more cautions and drivers in front to make a lot more mistakes.
What kind of damage did he get? Where did we miss it at? Oh, well, speaking of it, you just jinxed it.
Oh no! Schwarr going around. And Eric Schwarr, oh man, his collection of incidences continue on. As Schwarr tried to get under Haas Beverly, and contact between those two. This is a very interesting wreck because more drivers actually piled into it. Oh no, I didn't see that before. Oh no.
It looks like Kyle and Cole was involved into. Whoa, what in the?
Yeah, I mean, it just looked like Eric Schwartz, like he just didn't slow down enough, and then you've got that of Grimes and Boiling nowhere to go for themselves. Hard contact for the 3 and the 44 going into the pit wall, but that was just such an odd wreck. I don't think anyone can explain that one. Maybe just not enough brakes coming in for that of Schwarr. I don't. It's difficult. Schwarr comes in with the most incident points of everyone in the field by quite a large margin. He has been a magnet of wrecks, and we see it once again. Could we see it from this screen? Just drifts up. He just has zero grip. Just doesn't want to stick to the bottom.
It's like the car didn't turn.
No.
Like the wheel broke or something. Maybe a mechanical.
More drivers come into the pits, but we're gonna take another look at this, and maybe we can get an in cockpit view of what his wheel looked like, because that was so odd. For sure, it doesn't make sense. Well, was he turning or not? I mean, we would imagine that it was, but the car just didn't want to stick.
You can see it's just sliding right there, Sam, and he's turning. No, he's
trying. He's trying. It just never went.
What in the did he blow a tire? When's the last time he pitted?
He pitted only about 19 laps ago. That's what's shocking about this.
It acted like he popped a tire. Oh, now you can see him in the car here. He's trying to work the wheel. Yeah, you look at the. Okay, I think he had something break. Be honest with you, or maybe
so
not.
Odd.
Yeah,
I also might have just came in a little bit too hot. Also,
yeah. See, he's working the wheel.
There's a lot of testing out how the car is going to be working, and that's just a fluky incident that happened there.
Yeah, I mean, that's weird.
By race control, deemed as just coming in too hot, or that of the 13 of Schwarr.
That's
adds to his total.
I mean, you got your front tires already heated up after a little bit of a stunt run there, Sam. And if you got the front end tires so hot, and he hit the brakes and turned the wheel, as we've seen, maybe he did just lose grip, and he did. He lost grip and went right up the track, which is very odd, but, I guess we've seen stranger things. And that's a good TV show on Netflix. True.
And I believe they're preparing for their next season to come out for that show. As the drivers, looks like our top about 22 drivers staying out, but leading the drivers that came into pit road going to be Travis Butt, Derek Offerman. Both those drivers getting themselves a set of tires here late in the race. Interesting call for both the 00 and the 20, putting themselves back in traffic as pace car lights are off. We're going to be going this time by. This is just a great caution for some of the drivers further back that needed this type of a caution to come out. Do want to give a shout out to some of these drivers further back. Max Ward for that team qualified in 27th position up to 17th. Great little rebound for this 59 team that's trying to have a great run for himself. currently in 17th position. But up front, the man who qualified up front was the fastest during practice. Actually, the third fastest during practice, fastest during qualifying. It's going to be Scott Rickard, as well as Nick Holland. Dylan Grimm, Andrew Medlin, Nate Lynch, going to be your top 5. Green flag back in the air for the Valley of the Sun 200. As they head into turn number 1, 2 car lengths is the difference between first and second. But side by side is still for third place. Grimm and Medlin just cannot get away. As you watch as Aaron Hale now making his charge. I touched on this earlier. That 4 just has a knack of getting up front. And Timmy McNally struggled in that first stint, making a little bit of contact, trying to move forward. As the middle of this pack, back around 10th position. They are still side-by-side hard racing going on. As well as we were watching that of Mike Watts trying to make his charge forward in 5th position, trying to get by that of Andrew Medlin. Robert, we're coming close to lap 100. When do you think go time is now, or is that already passed? Oh no, behind them, Trey Jackson and others. Hard contact. Wade's gonna be involved, dropping back in yellow waves again.
And the 13 finds himself involved again.
He wasn't trying to.
That poor
Trey
guy.
Jackson, kind of similar to what we saw. Oh my goodness, this is a wicked wreck. Actually, hey, credit to Schwartz. He did not actually get involved, but he was able to slow down and not be involved. We're going to see Trey Jackson, very similar to what happened to Schwartz on our last caution, just coming in too fast and just slides up. Just nothing they can do there. And he automatically apologized, but going to come down, get clipped, spins back around into Wade. Just couldn't get enough of that contact. And then you're going to see the 59.
Oh.
Watts, I mean, Ward, I just touched on Ward and now involved in this wreck.
Big mouth. No.
The commentator's curse, man. It's dangerous. But I think if we keep on watching this replay, Haas Beverly, I don't know where he comes from, but I think he makes contact with Jackson here. Yeah, it just comes up once again. Both drivers unaware of where they're at and contact made between the 22 and the 31. Just odd. There's these cautions, man. I don't know.
Bam. What the?
I mean, it was contact between the 22 and the 31, and just miscommunication on where they were going. I think for that of Trey Jackson, he wanted to come down. For the 22 of Haas Beverly, he was showing that he was going to go into pit road, and then late decided to come back up, and contact between both drivers as more discussions of when you want to use potentially what could be your final set of tires for these drivers.
Yeah. I know you asked me that question before. Sorry, I didn't interrupt you there, Sam. You asked me a question before the yellow came out. I think you're asking when is go time. I don't think go time is yet. I think you wait till about lap 110 would be my say for go time.
And I think once you get to 100, I think that's Yeah, I think right now might be a go time for a lot of these guys. That's why we're seeing drivers kind of picking and choosing when they're going to make their final pit stop for that final set. Travis Butt leading those drivers with the freshest rubber with Offerman, and Grimm did not take tires. He just went with a repair and fuel, it looks like, for the 3, but he'll be back in 17th.
Cody out there in chat. Sorry, that's just funny what he said, Sam.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't even thinking that until he said it. Thanks, Cody.
No, chat is always observant and always so clever.
Man. Well, yeah, with that being said, thank everybody out there for tuning in on iRacing Live. Also here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting on YouTube. We do much appreciate it as we got 22 people watching. Don't be afraid to use that chat button and talk to each other. That helps the algorithms on YouTube, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen. It really does, not just chatting with us. We'll tune in and talk about it and talk to you, but it also helps. If this is your first time here at Freaky Fast and you're enjoying this content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, bell button, so you don't miss any of the action all week long as we got action-packed racing night in and night out, except for Fridays. Just make sure you put that down on your calendar. We do not broadcast on Friday nights, but other than that, we're here, we're having fun, and we're calling some action-packed racing as we're getting ready to go back green flag racing here on lap 97 of 133 here with Stars and Stripes Racing Series here at ISM or Phoenix or whatever you want to call it, but here we go, Sam.
Yeah, Rickard as well as Nick Holland going to be getting a great launch for themselves. Once again, side by side, it's Medlin and Grimm, and Medlin got a great launch to the center of the corner. He's going to try to carry that momentum through, and following on the outside, you got drivers trying to follow that of McNally. They're going to be almost 3 wide, battling back for 5th position. You got Nate Lynch trying to hold back that of McNally, and Watts gets out of hand. We're just seeing the grip level. It is diminished. It is practically gone, which is shocking because the track temp has actually gone down. At one point, it was 128 degrees. It is now down to 120. The track's starting to cool off, but the drivers, the grip level is not there at all as they're cycling through, fanning out, going through across the dog leg. And Travis Butt, fresh rubber, he is making his charge. He started only back in 17th on that restart. He's now up to 9th for the 00.
Now, did he take his last set of tires?
I know he took a set. I think he might have an extra set. Everyone else still running, I believe, on their second set of the day. He had a total of 4 to work with.
Okay.
But I believe he's on set number 3, so he's got 1 more left in pit road if needed for the 00.
Okay, well, this strategy might work out very well for him as all the rest of these top front runners are on older tires than what he is. Well, he pitted with them too, so.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing a great job. We're seeing a collection of drivers that did not pit 2 cautions ago, and as when Butt came into pit road, drivers that pitted most recently is going to be that of Wade, who's back in 16th position, where drivers are still 2, 3 wide back here. Falling back is going to be Schwartz. Also having some issues might be that of Brandon Burchett in the 223, another one of those fan favorites. I know the 33 always having a crowd. That of Chris Essery did not show up here tonight, so kind of a shock to see some drivers showing up and not showing up. But it means that those that are consistent with the best attendance, they're going to be having a great shot making playoffs. As we're watching the battle for that of 12th. You got Kyle McCoy trying to figure out how to get by Jason Metcalf as well as Ken Campbell. Able to get by Ken Campbell. Campbell stuck on the high line. Got that of Grimes as well as Wade making their charge forward. Kyle McCoy, our winner from last week at Dover, doing a great job. But behind him, it's going to be 3 wide action for that 13th place as they go into turn number 1. Backing out, it's going to be that of Grimes, but Wade freshes some tires back here, making his move up into 12th, I mean to 13th and 14th position possibly. As it's a madhouse back here outside of the top 10 here, Robert.
This goes to show you here, it might be a madhouse, but like you said, Wade pitted on lap 94, Mark Beverly pitted on lap 94, Brian Lynch pitted on lap 94, and they're not really moving up through the field, Sam. I mean, tires seem to be pretty well equaled out here. Fresh tires to old tires. It's kind of shocking here.
It also might be on the aggression level. How aggressive are you willing to get with fresh rubber? And I think that's why we're seeing the patience from Wade, who's willing to let the race come to him, making his moves forward, while we watch it that of Derek Offerman and Travis Butt. They are willing to get aggressive, throw their cars down low, recognizing they've got more grip than the other drivers around them. And that's why they're moving up so much, as Travis Butt now up into the top 5.
Oh, we knew Travis Butt earlier had the speed here, as he is right now running around the 29.7s marker area on lap times, as we got Scott Rickard, Scott, what's he putting down here? 29.5s to Nick Holland's 29.7s. Everybody else is in the 29.7s to Scott's 29.5s. So he's about 2/10 faster than everybody right now.
Yeah, and he's been about 2 tenths faster. I think the closest times to him was the Travis Butt, as well as Rickard has been running pretty similar lap times to one another. So showing that Scott, yeah, you might be having grips that are about, 20 lap fresher than me, but I still have a lot of speed under these tires. As that 0.5 up to a 1.3 second gap between himself, second place of Nick Holland, and back to that of Travis Butt. It's 2 seconds the difference between the 0.5 and the 0.0 from first back to fifth. But side by side, and Bud's getting a great preview of this, but he's got to pick and choose. Does he want to force the issue, possibly go 3 wide if he gets a big enough run, or just stay behind and hope that Grimm is the one that moves forward on the inside and stay patient here as he watched that of Scott Rickard continue to pull away?
We've been like riding with Butts here, and these guys are wheeling these cars, Sam, coming out of the corners. I mean, watch his wheel, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, this is not an easy task. He's really working it. Look at it, left, right, left, right, left, right.
Yeah, using that saw motion to try to keep the car as straight as possible, and also trying to make sure he doesn't put himself in a difficult spot as he's got that closing rate so much faster through the center of the corner, but recognizing he's got to go. Going to be forcing it 3 wide possibly here, trying to stay as low as possible. Couldn't get to the quarter panel and still has to follow behind the wall of drivers in front of him. Medlin and Grimm just holding off the speed the 0.0 has, and it just is demoralizing when you're trapped like this, when you know you have fresher rubber than everyone else, and you've got guys behind you that are catching up on similar sets. I mean, Chris Wade, he's up to 9th now after making a pass on Hale.
I mean, Travis, he's got to go. He's got to go now. I mean, he took that car all the way down.
He finally got by. He's going to be side by side with Medlin, and he's going to use that speed that he's got with the fresher rubber, and he's going to try to make the pass coming out of turn number 3. But finally, after being patient for 3 to 4, maybe even 5 laps, finally able to make the pass here, but he hasn't confirmed it just yet, as he's still side by side with Medlin.
Well, you know where he got his run at there, Sam? Going through the dog leg and taking it all the way down to the wall and coming out, and because he passed on the apron here in 3 and 4, and he finally worked his way around Andrew there.
Find your way to cut this track. I mean, that's what opening up the dog leg it's done. Here at Phoenix, it allows you to cut the course, save some time, but there is that little bit of a disadvantage that comes on the back end of it can ruin your entry into the next corner. So for that but he knew he had the fresher tires, and he only had a couple more laps to try to make that move before he wouldn't have the rubber or the grip to try to make that pass, and it worked out fabulously. Now up to 3rd place, going to be trying to pick up another position on Nick Holland, but went from being about 2 seconds back from the leader, but after staying behind Medlin for so long, finds himself being 3 seconds back, losing a full second. But ever since he's gotten by, able to run a little bit of a cleaner times with no drivers really in front of him, except for that of the 68. We're seeing Travis Butt running about 0.2 faster than what we're seeing from Scott Rickard, but does he have enough time? We're coming to 20 laps to go the next time we see the 0.5 come across the line.
Well, we know these guys ain't pitting unless the yellow comes out. So we do know that. They already made their bed. They got their tires, the fuel, or whatever they wanted to get there at last pit stop. And so we're not going to see that. So as for Travis, I think, Sam, with 20 laps to go, if this stays clean and he can get around Nick pretty easily without fighting for 3-4 laps, he might have a shot at Scott here.
Last time by another 0.2 faster, but yeah, like you said, the key, get by Holland as fast as possible. Don't stay behind, losing too much ground, and he might do the same move we just saw him do, go extremely low on the dog leg, and he does that, just missing the cone. He's going to get side by side, trying to make the pass here through turns 3, and they're close. Got to be careful, don't want to be rubbing too much off one another. As Travis Butt trying to get the better launch out, but is being pinched by Nick Holland. Both of them sliding off the exit of turn 3.
And you seen that last time. We're going to see it again. See if Nick does the same thing. He knew what Travis was going to do. Go all the way down that dog leg as they go side by side, touching, loving, and kissing. And hang on, ladies and gentlemen, because Nick is not giving up the 2nd position.
No, Nick stayed strong. He held on as much as he could, but the entry just too powerful. Now going to be trying to do a crossover move. Give a little bit of a bump to the 0.0. This is the best shot that Nick Holland has to try to hold on for 2nd place, but you're just seeing the tail slipping as Travis Butt able to make the pass, but he's lost 2/10 in the battle that took over 3 laps. With 17 laps left, it might be too much.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to have enough or not. I mean, he's running the same lap times at, let's see here. No, he's actually slower than Scott when that was dealing with Nick, because Nick did not, like I just said, did not want to give up that second place position. He battled him for 3 laps hard, and he knew what he was going to do. And bravo's on Nick for trying to make him burn off his tires a little bit, hopefully to slow him down. But unfortunately, you can tell, Travis pitted on lap 88 compared to Nick pitting on lap 69. So, yeah, there's a big difference there on tire wear. But you know who else has got better tires? That 20 of Derek. He's going to be coming up here on Andrew, and he pitted on lap 88 too. And Christopher is now up to 7th position, pitted on lap 94. So we got different pit strategies going with 15 to go. And what did I say earlier, Sam? We trend with 15 to go. We normally see that yellow thing that we don't want to see. I just called it yellow.
That Banana Republic.
Yeah.
Certainly, it's
Banana Republic.
it's out there. We know it's in the hands of the flagman if needed. As they continue to race around, it's one of those things where we got to keep our eyes out if it will be coming out at any time. But Andrew Medlin, he'll be falling back. It looks like he tried his best to hold off the drivers with fresher tires, but just Derek Offerman a little bit too strong. Also watching out for that of Chris Wade. How aggressive will he be getting here? But it has been a show for that of Scott Rickard. We haven't really talked about the 05 that much because he's been up front dominating so much of this race, trying to get his 3rd win, which would tie him with that of Nick Collin with 3. And the previous races that we've seen this 05 win at was Kansas for race number 2 this season and race 4 back at Richmond. And since then, it has been just a hard-fought battle all season long for Scott Rickard, but he's been atop of the points with his consistency, with some of the most top 10, having the second most top 10s, second most top 5s, and having the second most wins. It has been all about staying consistent for this 05 team as he continues to try to pull away. Travis Butt is not gaining ground fast enough. He's running just slightly faster, but it's only 0.05 of a second. That is not enough time with the amount of laps that are ticking away. 11 laps to go, but lap traffic soon to be popping up here. And we saw the last couple of weeks, almost all season long, lap traffic has influenced the lead lap car at least once this race. We haven't seen it yet.
Yep, very true. I was just ready to say that, Sam. Man, I'm going to tell you, man, I think we're both thinking on the same wavelength, man, because every time you say something, I'm like, well, there goes my story.
One of those things where it gets difficult when you're working with other people. They keep you on your toes about what is the next story on the line.
Well, that's it. I mean, he's working lap traffic here, and like you said, you said he won at Richmond. Do you consider Phoenix or ISM almost like a Richmond? Because he's dominated. He dominated pretty good at Richmond.
I mean, like the first corner is probably the most similar thing of Richmond here. I mean, all 3 corners are very different. It's an odd-shaped, you could say, with the way that Pocono is all 3 different corners. It's very similar to how Phoenix is all 3 corners different. And there's your trend. It pops out, and it's Haas Beverly. Bring out another wreck. 22.
I cannot. Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, when you see the trends, you know it's possible to happen. And Haas Beverly lap traffic just could not get out of the way of drivers being 3-4 wide. And that's what brings out our yellow and Cole Grimes once again involved. But this time, we're going to be seeing Beverly. Traffic coming up to him quickly. And when you got drivers that are 3-4 wide, it's not a safe place to be unless you're riding the wall. Is contact going to be made from the 3 into the 22, and a little bit goes to Metcalf, but whew,
yeah, I mean,
just a little bit of scraped.
No harm in Haas. I mean, he was where he's supposed to be. He
Yeah,
had no
you're not
choice.
expecting drivers to be 3-4 wide there. You're not. You're
Yeah.
expecting them to be 2 wide, cleaning that up, but he did his best to try to stay as high as possible without just wall riding it, and it's difficult once you get, late in the race. Lap traffic on much older tires than the drivers that were racing, and questionable calls. We knew it was going to be drama. And drivers picking and choosing who's going to come in for tires and who's not. If you want a shot to have a good finish here at the end, stay out. I mean, I like that call. But y'all have, as a group, have to understand, stay out or I'll come in. With this late of a yellow, it's going to be putting us around three laps to go when we go green again.
I want to see some thumbs up and likes on that, because what did I say at the beginning of the broadcast? We have our trend, and I need some credit. I feel like I need some love and credit or something.
It always feels great, right? Once you get those calls right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just sitting there shaking my head going, wow. And now, like you said, we're going to have 3 laps to go. We got guys that came in that were leading the race. Scott's going to come out in 12th position. We have 12 cars that stayed out. Oh my goodness, this is gonna get. Fast cars versus slower cars. Then you got older tires. You got fast cars with older tires. You got faster cars with newer tires. What else more? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and here's the thing though. All the other previous times that we've had a late caution and our fastest drivers come into pits, get some service done, the furthest back they go is usually back to 6th, 7th, maybe even 8th place at the most. We're going to be seeing Scott Rickard back to 12th place. That is a lot of ground that he's got to make up, and that means he has to be aggressive coming out of turn 1 into the dog leg, into every corner, has to try to dive underneath someone, and it's late in the race. Someone's going to block the 0-5, and it's going to be a late block. And then we're going to be seeing some carnage. I got a major feeling on that. But, Robert, drama. And I got to give major credit to you. This is the second broadcast in a row that you've called when the caution was going to come out. You called it back on Saturday when the late wreck was going to come out for the NAIS CC Cup Series. And he called it here tonight. Most likely you're going to call it once again this upcoming Saturday, I would believe.
Oh, man. Yeah, I enjoy being right, I guess. I know. I'm just... ladies and gentlemen, look back here. We got Nick going to be in 13th position. Andrew in 14th position. Kyle is trying to rebound back here in 16th position. We got Nate that had a great run, now back in 17th position. Brian Lynch now up to 6th position. You got Mark Beverly up to 5th position. The whole back of the field went to the front. The front went to the back.
Our driver that has gotten a win is Scott Rickard and Nick Holland back in 12th place. Everyone else from 11th to 1st have not won this season, except for Travis Butt. But Butt is a sitting duck. As the green flag is waving, 4 laps to go. Who's going to get it done? Some drivers going to get aggressive here into turn number 1 further back. They're already 3 wide. Nick Holland's going to be diving it down low, and it's going to be Scott Rickard stuck in the back. Nick Holland's leading the charge of drivers with fresh rubber. He's trying to get his 4th win this season, and he went from 12th back to 9th as they're still scattering 4 and 5 wide back here. It is madness. Pandemonium back for 7th place, and they're wrecking already.
I was waiting for it, and there it was. Oh, man, Sam. I was waiting for it. Ladies and gentlemen, oh, my goodness.
Nick Holland was in the prime spot. He was on the inside, just pounced on getting underneath everyone else, but you knew someone. We'd seen it all day long of drivers just slipping and sliding on the entries of these corners, and that's exactly what happened. Coming into the corner of turn 3, they're 4 or 5 wide, and it's not safe when you go into turn 3 trying to be as aggressive as possible, and drivers just piling in. Oh my goodness. Nate Lynch just pile drive through that.
How?
Oh man. you looking at some of the drivers, you knew the caution was going to come. But Nate Lynch, I don't know. He just came flying on the inside. He got a little bit of help from Watts, but at the same time, you look at the different speeds. Watts and also for Nate Lynch, they both come sliding up the track, and everyone that's above them, nowhere to go. And guess what? It's overtime. As this is a usual spot we find ourselves in late in these Stars and Stripes races. We've got 2 attempts if needed here tonight in overtime racing. Usually we only need the first, but with tonight's race, way drivers are stacked up, we might need to use both attempts here. As again, overtime rules. You have a green-white checker. That means when the green flag waves, 2 laps to go. If we get around that first lap and get to the white flag, then the race will conclude under green. But if we do not get to that white flag and there's a yellow before that, then we will use our second attempt. And our second attempt, whatever flag comes first, will conclude our race.
Oh.
But just Travis Butt, Chris Wade, Mark Beverly, Derek Offerman, Timmy McNally, Eric Schwar, Nick Holland, Kyle Boyling, Scott Rickard, Brian Lynch, your top 10 with Mike Lynch in 11th. Kyle McCoy going to be in 12th position. Dylan Grimm, Bill Dart, Andrew Medlin's your top 15. As it continues to drop down, we got 30 drivers on the lead lap, but with the amount of damage and carnage we just saw, some drivers might be going a lap down with too much damage that they're taking. Jason Metcalf, one of those drivers that has to come in. Mike Watts staying out for the 84, but he'll be all the way back in 48th position and also given the EOL as he was deemed the cause of that wreck.
Oh, well, you know, Travis, Chris, Mark, Derek, Timmy, Eric, which Eric is just, oh, wow, good rebound for him up in 6th position. Way to go there, sir. Sam, one of these top 6, if they would get a win, because Nick Holland's already got a win, how important would that be for them? I mean, that would just be huge to come out of here with a race win.
Yeah, I mean, Travis Butt started off with having his issues early in this race. He had to really rebound. Timmy McNally, he's on the oldest tires in the whole entire field, running in 5th position on the inside, 3rd car on the inside. But, I mean, for Wade, Offerman, Beverly, I mean, Mike Beverly, what a win this could be for the 51 if he can find himself up front. But I got to say, for Travis Butt, he is the one that is in the control seat, because if he can get the best launch possible, it's going to be a mad dash on if anyone could possibly catch up to him. But we got to watch out for that 68. 4th car on the inside. Nick Holland's going to force this 3 wide into turn 1. We already got a feeling of that. Pace car is off. First attempt of overtime for the Stars and Stripes Xfinity Series. We're green, and just like that, Travis Butt is already 5 car lengths ahead, but he moved up before the line. That could be a penalty if the admins want to call him on it.
Oh, man.
Oh, Scott Rickard bumped Nick Holland. There's a little bit of contact for the drivers further back in 6th place. Scott Rickard's able to get below the 68. He is now trying to charge on the inside. They're 2-3 wide back there for 7th as they're coming around turn number 3. If Travis Butt gets the white flag, we race it to the end, but we don't. Yellow comes out. We're going to use attempt number 2.
Oh, my God. I don't mean laughing, because that's all I know how to do is laugh. I mean, I feel for some of these guys, Sam. I know I laugh, and I do apologize, but I get so excited. I'm excited.
Trey Jackson gonna be causing this one. A little bit of contact to John Dart.
Oh, my goodness.
Whew.
Now what? I mean, look what Scott was doing. Scott, he was down on the apron, Sam. He was out of the racing service. We had Nick Hollins going up on the high side. I mean, they put Eric 3 wide right before that caution came out. I mean, poor Eric was probably sitting there going, oh, crap, where do I go?
Well, now you got to figure out who's going to be on the inside. Admins are going to have a tough time after this race. When this race is over, we're going to have to say unofficially, because there's most likely going to be penalties served to a lot of drivers because One, the rule book is very clear. You cannot go 3 wide into turn 1. It's once you come out of turn 1, then you can go 3 wide. We've seen this multiple times of drivers going 3 wide into turn 1 here tonight. The admins are going to have to recheck that. Also for Travis Butt, I'm wondering if they're going to call him on the fact that he changed lanes before coming to the start-finish line. He did that on that last restart, has not been penalized, but that might be something that they have to relook at as well for the 00. That would be an EOL penalty. That would then give Chris Wade the lead, but I don't think the admins are going to be making any type of rulings until after the race. But the drivers are certainly getting a little bit antsy in coming at the admins about those calls because it's in the rule book. They're hoping that it will be called here tonight.
Exactly. Rules are rules, and they're in there, and Butts should know these rules. And I'm just gonna say this to all drivers out there: if you don't, go read the rule book. It's there. They made it perfectly clear to us as broadcasters. This is the way it is, and it's not gonna change. And these admins, like you said, it's gonna be a tough call, man. I mean, stay tuned for next week, ladies and gentlemen, because we won't know until after the race in midweek after they go back and review everything. But we might have a storyline next week about what happened here tonight at Phoenix.
Oh, absolutely. And looking at the field right now, it's Travis Butt, Chris Wade, Mark Beverly, Timmy McNally, Derek Offerman, Eric Schwar, Nick Holland, Scott, Scott Rickard, as well as Kyle McCoy is now up into the top 10 in 9th place. Kyle Boylan finishing off with your top 10. But our top 10 drivers that we're keeping our eye out on from 7th back to 10th. That's where we find Nick Holland, Scott Rickard, Kyle McCoy, and Kyle Boylan. Those 4 drivers, precious of time. Actually, I take that back. Kyle Boylan's on older tires. It's going to be that of McCoy, Rickard, Holland. These are the drivers that are in your top 3 in points. And they are the ones with the freshest tires late in this race. But this is our final attempt. This race is either going to finish under green or under yellow. Travis Butt is in the best spot. If he does the same exact thing he did last time, get a great launch, change lanes after he's crossed the line, 00's got a great shot to win this thing.
Yeah, he does. I mean, I wouldn't see why he would not win this race, to be honest with you, Sam. I mean, we're going to ride with him here and on the start here, ladies and gentlemen, and see exactly if he stays in his line or if he's been warned. Something we don't know. We don't know. We call it the way we see it, but last attempt here, Sam, because here we go. This is going to get crazy. And, whoa, he is gone.
Already taking off. The Valley of the Sun 200 comes to a close. He did it again. He crossed lanes before the start-finish line. I don't know if it's going to be called at all, but they're going to be 3 wide already in turn 1. Nick Holland, he's going to be making the mad dash in 7th place. He's trying to move up already into 4th position after passing that of Timmy McNally. It's going to be Kyle McCoy following suit, but it's Travis Butt, also Wade, as well as Beverly, trying to hold off the fresher tires there. Schwarr going to be getting up into the outside wall, but we stay green as they're coming out of turn number 3. White flag in the air as they come across the line. It's finishing under green. Nick Holland, he's got to try to figure out how to make that outside line work, but Wade's right on the back bumper of Butt. He's got his one final shot. If he can make the move for the 53, it's got to be on the entry of turn number 3. As they come across the dog leg, it's still Travis Butt, Chris Wade. As they go into turn number 3, it's Travis Butt. He's holding strong. Wade's on the inside. He's got a little bit of momentum. If he can get to the back bumper, he might have a shot here. Here comes Beverly as well, but it's going to be Travis Butt for the Valley of the Sun. It goes to the 00. Travis Butt, win number 2 this season. He won at Las Vegas. He wins at the other desert at Phoenix. Congratulations to Travis Butt.
Wow. 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 If you did not enjoy that calling by Sam and this action that we see here. Oh, wow. Nick Collins is giving. What in the. Scott is stuck in the wall. What in the world?
As Travis and Nick Holland made a little bit of contact, which then I think launched into that of Scott Rickard.
Wow. Well, anyways,
Scott just sent himself into the wall. That's all that he did. He was mad. He just put himself in the wall, burning it down. Travis Butt, and we'll be taking a quick break. When we come back, Travis Butt, Chris Wade, also Mark Beverly, our top three. We'll be talking to them in just a few. Thanks for watching Stars and Stripes Xfinity Series here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. We'll be back in a second. It was pandemonium. It was madness. Stars and Stripes Xfinity Series had to use both attempts of overtime, but we got it done here at Phoenix, figuring out that it was going to be Travis Butt getting the win for the 00 unofficially, as we'll wait and see on those calls. But we'll still talk to our unofficial top three, leading that charge in third place. We'll talk to Mark Beverly as for the 51. It certainly was a long day for himself, but he finally got himself into the top three. Mark, it's Sam up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
I mean, what a race for yourself. It just seemed like you were trying to be aggressive to get up front early in this race. And then later on, you had to make the decision to stay out late in this race. How was those final couple of laps here tonight?
Well, I just kept an eye out for those guys with the fresher tires behind me there. So just hoping they couldn't get to me and I could hold them off for the last two restarts there.
That's exactly what you had to do. I mean, on that final restart, you saw, for that of Nick Holland, Kyle McCoy, they all tried to pass you at some point. How difficult was it trying to hold off those drivers with fresher rubber?
Well, it's pretty tough. Those are some fast cars there too. And luckily, Phoenix is more of a one lane kind of track. So I kind of just kept it down low and didn't let them get their nose underneath me. So it seemed to work out.
Mark, this is your first top five. We're past the halfway of the regular season. How are you feeling about this, possibly helping you carry this momentum forward and hopefully making the playoffs?
Yeah, I'm hoping that turns around. I've had some rough luck here. I've gotten caught up into some late race wrecks that just dropped me down into the 20s. So hopefully this is positive and keep it running towards the playoffs for sure.
Well, Mark, before we let you go, the floor is yours for any shout outs.
Yeah, I want to shout out to my sponsor, Reg Customs. They do a great job with custom diecasts. Shout out to my dad and brother getting me into racing, and my fiance.
That's Mark Beverly in the 51, getting the top 3 finish for himself. Congratulations, Mark, and good luck moving forward in the season.
Thanks, I appreciate it, guys.
Then we got the man finishing in second place, Chris Wade, which Wade might have some different thoughts on these restarts. Chris, it's Sam up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, Chris, we saw multiple attempts at restarts, and you had some of the freshest rubber of the drivers over that of Travis. How were those final restarts for yourself?
If I could done a better job and got to his outside, I could have took it and won it from him because early in the runs, I could make the outside work, but eventually I would have to go to the inside. But the tires was a little warm, but it was the freshest from because he had older tires. I'm pretty sure he had a little bit older tires, but if I could have timed those restarts perfect and got to his outside, I think I could have got him.
Now, Chris, we're watching the restarts, trying to make sure everyone was keeping to themselves, but we saw a couple of drivers trying to break the rules here late. What was your thoughts on Travis moving and changing lanes before the start-finish line?
I'm pretty sure leaders are allowed to do that. Don't quote me on that though, because the other league they're okay with as long as leaders don't make no contact with one another, like first and second place. So if Nate's all right with it, I guess I'm all right with it. I don't really see nothing wrong with that.
All right. Well, Chris, we're now past halfway of the regular season. We're starting to see it starting to make a charge forward points wise. How are you feeling about making your move into playoffs here in just a couple of weeks?
Not a fan of the playoffs, just the way they are. So I just go and run my race one at a time. Don't really worry about points really too much, but I'm a bigger fan of just the regular points, but playoffs I don't really much care for them, so yeah.
And fair enough. Chris, before I let you go, the floor is yours for any shout outs.
I want to thank my mom and dad, Nate, for putting on such a good league. We've been doing a little better with these races past couple of weeks, and I want to thank AC2 Skins, you guys for broadcasting, and just Randy for helping out with race control, and shout out to Travis, and I guess I'll give a shout out to Trey too. He got into me, made me pit early, so it gave me the freshest tires, and was able to drive up through the field. Made it a little bit easier on passing, and then kind of stalled out. I didn't know if I wanted to yell or not, but it ended up helping me since we had a pretty good bit of cars behind us. But yeah, thank you guys.
That's Chris Wade in the 53 machine. Congratulations on second place finish, and good luck next week.
Thank you, man.
And now we got the unofficial winner, Travis Butt, up in the booth with us. Travis, it's Sam up in the booth. You got me?
I got a copy.
Well, it's win number 2 for yourself, and it came with a lot of drama behind you. How were those final restarts for yourself?
Oh, the final restarts, I think I was getting really frustrated, but, my Cyclone teammates, kind of helped me there, just keep me confident. I thought, that first caution that happened and they were all going to get fresh tires, I thought I was a sitting duck, but, when we almost got that white flag, on the first green white checkered, I was like, you know, we're not too bad here as long as I get a good start. And I was able to get a good start every time. And it was good to have like McCoy and, you know, Josh and Brian back there. They were kind of keeping me updated on what was happening and, you know, who had fresh tires and who, where they were going. And I was kind of really shocked there that we kind of won today. It was, you know, like right luck at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, you had a real recovery day for yourself. Started off having to get those repairs done early, setting yourself back around 18th place and cutting your way through traffic. How was it knowing that you were in the thick of things, trying to cut your way through traffic from practically the start of the race to the end?
Yeah, ever since I won, I think it was Chicagoland where I won, I've had just terrible luck. I've kind of tried some different strategy to get a couple wins, and man, I just been on the wrong side of it all. And I told, you know, them today that I was gonna push everything as hard as I can every lap, and whatever happened, happened. And um, you know, I kind of scrubbed the wall. I didn't think I scrubbed it that bad, and I get in there and I had like 15 seconds of damage, and I went, wow, but you know, instead of using fast repair, I might as well just go ahead and fix it. And I got mired back there, like I think 18th and 20th, like you said, and I was able to work up to 9th, and I kept just kind of creeping my way back forward. And I told them all when I think I was at 8th, and I told all the guys, I was like, you know, if they don't pit in front of me, I'm doing the opposite. I was like, I can't beat them, so might as well do something the opposite. And you know, and it worked out. You know, if you can't do the same strategy over and over, the same people that are in front of you, if you know you can't really beat them for the day. So, and it worked out. Maybe. Hello. It's probably my luck.
Them last two starts were a little crazy there. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, what action-packed racing. How's it feel to finally get that victory?
Yeah, it's nice to, you know, pick up the second one. It's kind of nice when you're a leader and, you know, you can kind of judge your, you know, starts the way you want to judge them. It's nice when, so I think the leaders are the only one the front row is the only ones that allowed to change lanes. So it was really nice to be able to get a good.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just, you know, it's nice to just get a good launch. And I knew if I got ahead and got away, you know, the people behind me were going to hold up the new tire. So, and it all worked out. We were able to, you know, it was great to bring one home and for Cyclones Motorsport, and it was fun. You know, like I said, I had to do the opposite of what people did in front of me, and I did, and end up coming out with the win.
Yeah, and that's the next thing I was going to ask you there, Travis. What is the ruling on the restarts? I mean, you shot out of turn 4 there twice, and you moved up, and I thought you weren't allowed to have a lane change. Do you know the ruling on that, or?
Yeah, that's the front row is the only one allowed to do a lane change. The people behind row 1 is not allowed to do a lane change. So
okay.
The front row is allowed to do a little lane change, but anyone behind that's not allowed to change lanes. So
gotcha. Okay. Well, we misunderstood the rule, so I do apologize if I called you out when you go back and watch this broadcast. I was like,
and I understand it's all good. I understand.
All right. Well, with that being said, that clarifies that rule, ladies and gentlemen, because we were all in chat and everybody was like, oh, I don't know about it. But hey, he clarified that rule for us there in that 0-0 of Travis. But with that being said there, man, is your final shout outs here? Who do you want to give a shout out to, or, anything like that?
Yeah, thanks to, the sports community. They've supported me, and I can't wait to kind of send this video and be able to see, we've got a couple wins under our belt this year. Checkers and Wreckers, they always do great. Thanks to, Chris. Chris is always a great guy. So, anytime you can kind of beat Chris, you're doing a good job. He's always a top 5 machine. So good to see that. Thanks to the Cyclone Motorsports. They helped me out a lot. Brian, Josh, Kyle, they were able to kind of keep me updated what happened. And Erica's watching too. So thanks to her. And, we was able to pull off a win, and, it's a team effort, and, Brian, Josh, and Kyle, and, myself included, we all support each other, our decisions. So it's cool to have good 3 teammates and see us making a run, and, Cyclones back-to-back wins. So can't complain.
Oh, no, definitely not. Definitely not. Well, congratulations again, man, on getting this second win here, and you get ready to head off for next week. But congratulations again, sir.
Thank you.
All right, that was your race winner, ladies and gentlemen. Travis Butts in that 0-0 Camaro. It looks all beat up here, but he came across the start-finish line all clean, and now he's got a damaged car. But we're going to bring up our unofficial results here, as we did lose Sam on the broadcast side of things. So for Sam, he wants to say thank you to everybody, and hopefully everybody enjoyed his commentating here tonight, as he brought in the action at the end of the race and all the action through the whole race, actually. But really got hyped up there at the end. But you can see right here, Travis Button at 0-0. It's going to bring it home here, and the win with Christopher Wade's going to bring it home second with Mark Beverly. Is going to bring it home in third position here, with fourth position it's going to go to Kyle. Fifth, bounce back there of Scott in that 0-5 Misfit Motorsports. Great rebound for him. Sixth is going to go to Nick. That was up here running and in the top three, top two all race, is going to wind up bringing it home in sixth. Seventh place is going to go to Timmy. He actually has a great rebound back and keeping his streak going again. His new top 10 streak of Derek Offerman in that 20 IMI machine, or actually Home Depot machine, but Team IMI. Is going to bring it home eighth, and good job for Eric in ninth. He's going to, get a good top 10 finish there. With Ken Campbell is going to round out your top 10, ladies and gentlemen, as we look through the rest of the racing lineup here of your unofficial results here with Stars and Stripes at ISM or Phoenix International Speedway, or whatever you want to call it. But hopefully everybody enjoyed the show here tonight here with Sam and Robert up here in the booth here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. It was a great show. They put on a show week in and week out here, so congratulations to all the drivers there. But I also want to give a big shout out to everybody out there on YouTube and iRacing in general platform, and iRacing Live for tuning in here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting on your Thursday nights and taking your time out. But hopefully everybody has a great Friday, as we will be off. But our next televised will be Saturday night at 8:50 with NISCC Cup Series, as they are going into their round number 2 or 3 of their playoffs. So make sure, if you're free on Saturday night, come on out and join the chat and help get the numbers up. We do much appreciate it, as we will be live at 8:50. But until then, have a great Friday. Don't work too hard. And last but not least, and I don't know what I'm trying to say, but as we always say here at Freaky Fast to everybody out there, God bless you. Love yous all. Peace out.